Alright, let's go.
Are you done with the precepts?
What was that? That was Jeremiah 14:3. We're going right into 1 Corinthians now. I think we already got. They said the priests, Levites, they covered their head. It's mandatory, especially for the high priest. He couldn't even take it off. I guess we always say. It also going to be dealing with the hair, the unbinding of the hair with the woman. But also, like you said, it's special hairstyle for the high priest. So, I mean, both is, works. And then we get to Samuel, David and Jeremiah, where they covered their head, or the number ones covered their head in shame or in mourning. But Ezekiel
had to keep his hair covered. Yes, to not show mourning.
Yeah.
Was he a Levite? Yeah.
So I mean, like we're here, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's optional, for a non-Levite. So go ahead and get the other precepts I got for the priest is Exodus 39:28, and then Leviticus 8:13.
Wait, not the 1 Corinthians?
Say it again?
Did you say 1 Corinthians?
Yeah, we're about to get into that, but those are the other things regarding the priest about them covering that. I don't think we need to dive into those. We already established it. They need to have their hair covered, especially the high priest. Exodus 39:28, and then Leviticus 8:13.
Okay.
You go ahead. Yeah.
And a mitri of fine linen, and goodly bonnets of fine linen, and linen breeches of fine linen.
Once again with the bonnets, I think I still went through it. Leviticus 8:13. What about that?
Leviticus 8:13. And Moses brought Aaron's sons and put coats upon them, and girded them with girdles, and put bonnets upon them, as the Lord commanded Moses.
So I think we established that it's law for Levites, especially the priests, custom to uncover the head in mourning, but we seen that some did cover their hair during mourning. So I mean, I don't know how to respond to that, And we got some with the hairstyles with the woman with her hair during her offering to the Most High.
So maybe if we look closer, maybe there's a division in the certain kingdoms, because they would have had different customs. So you want from another. Sometimes we looking at a prophet that was from the northern kingdom, and sometimes from southern. Maybe that's a distinction. Maybe it was cultural for them to cover their heads in one place and uncover the other.
All right. Well, Yechezkiel. Who's Yechezkiel? Well, he was in dispersion, right? Because they came at the river Avar, in Babylon. So he went out with the dispersion of Yehuda, right? Yirmiyahu also was with Yehuda, and David, obviously. Right? So
that within them, that's different things. Then, right?
Yeah.
So that was right back.
We got done. So, I mean, what do we think so far before we dive into this first Corinthians?
Corinthians.
I mean, I'm with you as far as the law being for the Levites.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't argue with that. That's solid. Yeah, it looks like it would have to be custom. Maybe during certain periods of time they did different. I don't know. I really don't know what to say about that.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. So before we get to that, also in Corinthians, so we know what Corinthians is going to say. How does the woman fit into that situation?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because it seems to be that, okay, if she was standing before the Most High, she had to uncover her head when she was offering and making this offering. You know what I mean? Which is interesting, because that would be saying the opposite of what Paul was saying. But you can also look at it as the type of offering that she was offering also requires that.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Right. And
she was going, because that was technically for her, that was going through some shameful type thing.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
But
She was dishonoring herself.
But in the same way, if it's a test, how can you be in prison? You know, how can the Most High presume you to be in shame? Maybe a person can, but how could the Most High presume you to be in shame before it's been proven whether you're guilty or innocent?
So maybe it has to do in that situation with being uncovered as in laid bare and open and everything seen. Since they were trying to see if she was guilty or not.
Right. No matter in that situation, the fact that she was in that situation anyway to have to prove herself, you know what I'm saying? Just put it, you know what I'm saying? She had to go to that, do that just because she was in that situation anyway.
Alright.
But how does that bear on? I mean, it doesn't seem to be a Torah either way saying that the woman must be covered or uncovered. Besides that, and that's a little bit inconclusive as far as for look in this place we see she was standing before the Most High uncovered, so, which could imply that she was already covered as well.
Don't say that we have enough information to on that. I mean, but you're not finished the study yet either. So.
Right.
Who knows by the time we get to it, we might have something more solid, but as it stands right now, I can say yes and yes.
Okay, so right here in 1 Corinthians, book of 1 Corinthians was written in 53 to 54 AD.
What chapter?
I haven't got there yet. The main purpose is to write to the Corinth is to deal with several moral problems and divisions amongst this assembly. Division caused by women speaking in the assembly and not recognizing the authority of men. So let's go and get it. 1 Corinthians 11, and we're gonna read the whole entire chapter. But we're gonna read it in parts. We must emphasize that in the KJV, the italicized words and the in all English translations is not in the original text. So we also have to read in the Hebrew or whatever you like. Or what concordance. We can check it out or certain things.
I don't have an interlinear. Maybe.
You got an interlinear?
I got the
Okay.
But wait, let me make sure I got the New Testament.
So okay. So we got 1 Corinthians 11 and 1.
Let me
And read 1 to 2.
say it again.
Read 1 to 2.
Read 1 to 2?
Yes.
Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. That's number 2.
Okay. So the word for ordinance, what I got was tradition, which is dosis, basically a giving over of which is done by the word or mouth of giving. So basically, this is the advice that Paul is giving, not truly like a law, which a lot of guys love to make it a law. So just knowing that off the head, we know that this is not, this is something he's advised, giving to this certain church.
First Corinthians what?
11:1. So this is done by the word of mouth and giving. So Paul is really giving his opinion right here. This is not truly an ordinance, because we know when we deal with ordinance, we're done with the Mosaic law. But in this scenario, it's done with something that's tradition.
Traditions.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now, read verse 3 before. Sure.
But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
Okay, so can we agree in verse 3? The head of every man is Christ. The head of Christ is the Most High, and the head of the woman is the man. We can agree with that, right?
Yeah, we can agree with that.
Okay. Read verse 4 again.
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
So really, this is done with the order of authority, because the word for covered in verse 4 is I think it's kata, which means down or against. Basically, anyone who doesn't have the Most High or Yahweh Shai's head, dishonor his head. You know what I'm saying? So this is in a term for the man. When it gets to this part in verse 4, that's what it's talking about. It's in the spiritual aspect. It gets to the physical aspect in the next verse when it gets to women. Read verse 5.
But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one as if she was shaven. Okay, so like I was reading earlier, basically the problem within the church was women trying to assert authority over the man. So in verse 5 we read, read it again, brother. Alright. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one as she for that is even all one as if she were shaven. Okay, so now the woman dishonors her head, and it's talking about a physical head covering. So her being physically her head covered basically is going to be in representation of submission, because the woman were speaking out, having authority over the man. So the sole submissiveness, she must now cover her head. This is a physical aspect, and so that's what we're dealing with. So where
are you? Where'd you start? Verse 6?
Verse 5.
Verse 5?
Yeah, alright. Yeah.
Can you continue?
Let me continue. Okay.
Yeah.
Verse 6. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. Continue. Okay. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of the Most High, but the woman is the glory of the man.
So how does that fit into that understanding?
The word for covered in this part is still kata,
Right.
which means up. or to cover up. And read verse 7 again.
Verse 7. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and the glory of the Most High, but the woman is the glory of the man.
So I mean, and like I said, in the context, like I said, it'll be submission for a woman if she's physically covering her head. For the man, he dishonors his head by basically, having someone else as his head spiritually. So,
well, I mean, look, I would say you can definitely make a likening between the spiritual and the physical, but it's got to be a one-for-one relationship. You know what I'm saying? I mean, here's what I'm trying to understand. Yeshua is man's head covering, right? Okay. And Yeshua's covering is the Most High, right? Okay. So the man mustn't have his head covering because here we're saying because he's the glory of the Most High, so the man mustn't have his head covered, right? But he does have a covering, who is Yeshua. So, but the woman must have her head covered. Hey, I'm not.
Okay, I'll continue. Okay, so we read
back up.
Maybe read it again. You say you want me to read it again?
Yeah, you can read it again. I want to hear what you had to say about it again, and then we can move on.
About what?
Was there some more scripture you want to look at?
Yeah, we're continuing. Like I said, the whole chapter basically.
What did you say about that whole understanding there?
Like I said, in the physical aspect, when it gets to the woman, it's talking about a physical. So her covering her head will represent the submission that she has. The physical covering is her submit. The man that dishonors his head, that's talking about a spiritual aspect, to where basically how you dishonor your head is giving worship or anything to someone else, that's not the Most High, or basically Yeshua.
But he must have his head uncovered though, physically.
I mean, the word, like I said, the word for covered in verse 4 is kata, which means down or against. The thing about the Greek language, it's kind of all over the place, so it's like, it's not concrete as the Hebrew to the point. So you're really dealing like this with the thing. So that's what I got as regards to that.
What was the Hebrew word that was covered earlier?
Which one?
The first one was para, right? That was only used 3 places.
Right.
What was the second one? Kafa? Kafa?
Yeah. Kafa was the other one.
Alright. What verse?
To say cover?
Yeah. Verse 4.
Was uncovered. There was another one, bar A, that was uncovered. That was used in the Shayahu that we said definitely means uncover, when the other one could possibly mean disheveled.
Right.
What is that word? Yeah, that was Shmuel. Yeah, what was that word?